maybe insignificant, but so important to the job you do. So, yes, I really thank you and appreciate so much. And Carrie and Peter and so on are all connected with you.
And then I'll introduce the globe. Remembrance is a powerful act that helps ensure that heroism, service, and sacrifice are never forgotten. Gathering today at the Afghanistan Repatiriation Memorial following your efforts in cleaning the Highway of Heroes during the annual fall clean in memory of Major Michelle Knight Mendez shows great respect as you prepare to commemorate your 10th anniversary of the Canadian Forces Joint Operational Support Group on October 5th, 2022. On behalf of the City of Quinte West, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation for stepping up to clean the Highway of Heroes, where 158 Canadian fallen soldiers were repatriated home during the Afghanistan conflict. Lest we forget our fallen heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Sincerely, Mayor Jim Harrison.
Thank you.
Jerica, do you want to give the presentation?
We're good?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you again.
And then there's something special. So I'll just go over the Afghanistan Memorial. So I created this in memory of Major Michelle Knight Mendez to honor the fallen. So this will be with you guys all week. And it says Highway of Heroes Adoption 4, and it's spelled 4 like this, F-O-U-R, to recognize and honor 4 civilians died in Afghanistan. 158 in honor of Major Michelle Knight Mendez. And it's Quinte West, Sean Donnan, that created this for us. And Pete was there while we created it and saw it unfold. So we are the True North, Strong and Free because of the brave. So this represents all of you in your service to our country. And in honor of all those that gave some and some that gave all. And the way the story of the Highway of Heroes unfolds is that there's 4 battle crosses to recognize the 4 PPCLI soldiers that died by friendly fire. And Mike Root is a PPCLI veteran. So they came home on the Herc, and then they started coming down the Highway of Heroes. And there's 7 hearses, because Jerica received the pictures today of 2 incidences in 2007 when 7 soldiers fell. And there's 1 date of death on there, and it's May 17th, 2006, and that's to recognize the first female soldier to die in Canadian history. Was Captain Nicola Goddard. And so these are all the people, civilians, military members, veterans, first responders on the Highway of Heroes. You'll see this image that Pete Fisher captured many, many times with them waving the Canadian flag. This is General Natinchuk, and you'll see that in the photo if you see it later. And General Natinchuk was helped us secure this piece, which was off a vehicle that was over in Afghanistan, and he was saluting, so we put him on there as he was the former Chief of Defense, and that is what the Highway of Heroes symbol looks like. And this is to recognize the civilian that died over in Afghanistan. This is the vehicle that was blown up, and a soldier survived that. And so the way the names go around is in the order of death, with the 4 civilians, the last to be on here. And the reason why PPCLI is on here is that they lost 44 members in the Afghanistan war, and the first to fall and the last to fall were from PPCLI, and the PPCLI lowered their flag. And who adopted the Highway of Heroes were 2 PPCLI Afghanistan veterans. One was still serving, and one is no longer serving. And so because there's so much history in Afghanistan with the PPCLI, and I explained earlier that we were kind of set up for failure of, yes, you can adopt, but only 3 of you can go out. We were up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we'd come home at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and rinse and repeat for 21 days. We did that to pick up garbage, and garbage hadn't been picked up in a really long time, but there was an end goal of bringing people together and always remembering and always having an act of remembrance in our heart and mind. And what I wanted to do, since Mike came down from Waterloo to join us today, Christopher Reed was PPCLI, and this was for his mom. And this was I ran 2 hockey games thanks to the generosity of the Henderson Foundation in Kingston, and it was military members, veterans, first responders playing against like Montreal Canadian alumni and Toronto Maple Leaf alumni, and I crossed paths with Reed's mom, and then I lost her contact. So Mike, I know that you'll wear this with pride and remember Christopher Reed. And so it says, the true are strong and free because of the brave, honoring all that gave some and some that gave all. And so that's for you, Mike, and all your travels. Mike goes coast to coast all the time, so thank you for all that you do, buddy. And I welcome you. Do you want to say anything, ma'am?
Can you mention one more? Really?
Yes.
One of the most touching hockey games I have ever attended was the one where they cherished, I just lost it, Casey.
In this area?
Yeah, remember she was killed on the
Yes.
snowbird.
Yes, Casey.
What was her first?
Jennifer?
No?
Jennifer Casey?
Jennifer? Is that-
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Snowbird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well anyways, John McDonald, who is the general manager of the Hawks, he loves the military. He does so much with those boys outside of hockey. And that was a really touching hockey game where we had a great evening, a fantastic representation, and people who spoke so highly of the military, and Jennifer in particular. And I did buy a sweater, but Carrie took it from me. But
And I gave it to her cousin,
gave it to
Scott
her cousin
Casey out in BC.
out in BC, which was fantastic because he sent back, he said, I really appreciate this sweater and I'm putting it in my
Case.
collection of, so those things, like they don't always sound like they're a game breaker or something magnificent, but they really are so touching. I felt so impressed that night that all we did, we had Carrie there with the globe, and it was, well, I think it just shows the connection that the military have with Quinte West and the Bay of Quinte region. It's so important that we recognize people all the time, and not when a serious issue happens like that, but all the time. And that's, I think, what Carrie is trying to do, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. I say
Thanks. On behalf of the Canadian Forces Joint Operational Support Group, for allowing us the incredibly humbling opportunity to come and give a little bit back. I think we were educated today on the Highway of Heroes. Some of us have stood, some of us have served in Afghanistan, some of us will serve in future conflicts and around the world. Our role as a formation is to enable CAF operations. So we are an enabling force that sets up theaters, closes theaters, and sustains theaters. Again, I go back to, I think, something that you said, Carrie. It's about human connection, and I think that regardless of where we all come from in this great nation, we come together in our local communities where we may be posted, and we're driven by, I think, a spirit of service, service before self, and giving back. That's why we wear a uniform, and it's why we have such a strong connection, I think, with other people that also give wholeheartedly and freely of themselves in the spirit of others. So it was humbling to remember Michelle Mendez this morning. And again, I thank both of you for your efforts and what you do for your communities. Thank you.
We've been locked down for a couple of years. Those that have come out, 21 EW came out quite a bit, and the idea was always there to put a plaque on there and to build upon. So you guys are the very first unit to put a plaque on the memorial, and And you're welcome back to come back anytime. And it's wonderful that it's a special occasion for all of you.
Did you have police there today with cars, lights?
No, he's taking care of this.
I called, but I didn't.
No, I did speak to him this morning. Yes.
As I mentioned,
And I didn't want to keep driving. And Mayor Harrison said, come to the farm. And lo and behold, this young man's father was on the globe. And you know, you just never know the power of connection. Going to a wedding because of COVID.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, this guy,
Oh yeah.
that was hilarious.
Everybody knows about him.
We're cut the tea rounds apart.
This guy?
Keychain.
The riot.
Yeah.
He was so funny. Billy was cute.